And had a condition.
There we go. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching us from. We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Michael. This fool.
I hate you.
Why?
I'm Leroy.
Why you hate me? You the one eating the pizza.
I'm hungry, man.
Okay.
I worked hard today.
I told you we started at 8. Just say it. You know what time we start. You get to the thing to make the thing happen. So, we got a couple topics tonight for Press Play. We got... we're going to talk about some Disney news. Actually, a bunch of Disney news. We got the Disney CEO stepping down. Mm-hmm. And another, what about Bob, essentially? Another Bob replacing an old
Bob replaces Bob.
Yeah. We got some Star Wars stuff, and we got some EA stuff. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Bob.
Really? Okay.
Because Bob is a segue into Disney, Star Wars.
Okay. So, yeah, Disney announced on Tuesday that Bob Iger was stepping down, effective immediately. As CEO, he would still stay on as chairman of Disney and
he's
the board.
still going to shepherd some of the creative things.
And yeah, he said he's going to be creative. And in his place is Bob Chapek. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Most people don't know Bob Chapek. He was running Disney's parks.
And they don't like him.
Yeah, he was running the parks and tourism stuff. He was kind of the head of that stuff. So, thoughts?
I don't know. I know the people who know him are not big fans.
Now, when you say people who know him, do you mean like
the department he is over is not too thrilled with him because he made a lot of budget cuts in the parks division that made it harder for them for what they feel like to do their jobs.
It does seem like from the general consensus is, or the popular opinion is, he prides profit over creativity. And people, Disney had a renaissance under Bob Iger. He brought you Pixar, or he reacquired Pixar. He acquired Marvel. He acquired Star Wars. He acquired Fox 21st or 20th Century, whatever it is. He acquired all that stuff. Big expansion.
Helped to create Disney Plus.
Yes. He was also helpful with Hulu. Getting that 60% stake in Hulu.
So Disney has a controlling stake in Hulu. So Bob Iger essentially is Jordan. Go out on top, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing left for them to do or buy.
Yeah.
We don't know what the next phase is. The reason why I say I'm not sure about Bob, the new Bob, is shout out to you guys. Also, I want to answer IMAX's question. Why am I wearing a hoodie? Because I just came from outside. It's cold. And 2, the T-shirt with the raccoon eating a taco. My wife saw this and said, "That's you. You're a trash panda, and you like tacos." And the shirt was on sale, so she bought me the shirt.
There we go.
Now, I'm not sure how I feel about Bob because Iger was such a creative force behind what we know Disney is right now. And Brian Barrett brings up a good point. Sony's out there. They could. I don't know how much Sony costs, how much it would take, but that could be their next.
So, one thing I think is interesting, in terms of all the acquisitions, that happened under Bob Iger.
Yeah.
I don't think Chapek is really about acquisitions.
And that's what I'm wondering is, did Chapek come on board to say, did they promote Chapek to say, okay, Bob Iger got us all these things, now bring the budget down. Like, in other words, let's trim the fat, let's get us to a point where not only are we profitable, but we're bringing a lot of money to our shareholders, and we're super profitable. Because when you look at what Bob Iger did in his tenure, you rattled off some numbers. I think one of the biggest acquisitions that Bob Iger did was getting Marvel, because they literally the parks are good. They're making money. You had your Disney Vault, but he literally changed movie and television landscape with the MCU and making sure he hired good people like Kevin Feige. And we are seeing reports now out that Kevin Feige almost left because of his problems with Ike Perlmutter. But acquiring Disney acquired Marvel and building the MCU Bob Iger's legacy is intact. And this is the one thing I will say, that when I heard the news, I immediately was like, what did Bob Iger do? Because because we knew Bob Iger was not going to step down for another year. And it was one of those things where I was like, please, Lord, don't let Bob Iger have done anything. Don't let him touch nobody. Don't let him say nothing.
Our digital manager, Tony, it happened on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
and we in our newsroom were able to get like these late-breaking stories through a wire service. So we just saw one line that just said Disney CEO stepped down, and we were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Tony and I both looked at each other like, "What does that really mean?"
Yeah.
And then they finally said, "Well, he's stepping down, but he's going to stay on as chairman." So, like the backstory behind, he was originally supposed to only be the CEO through 2018.
Yeah.
Then he got his contract extended through 2019. Then got extended again through 2021, and then said, "I'm out. I'm good."
And honestly, I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like, I got grandkids, I got family, things, I want to see the world.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason why they extended him was because, if you remember 2018, 2019, and now 2020, they were acquiring Fox. Mm-hmm. They were building Disney Plus. They were making these deals, trying to usher in that next phase. You still had Star Wars going. Bob has been in charge of a lot. Iger. And I don't know if... I wonder if what they're doing now is letting certain people, like little fiefdoms. So Kevin Feige is the glove of the MCU, in charge of everything MCU. Mm-hmm. Bob, was it Chapek?
The new guy?
Yeah, Chapek.
Yeah.
Chapek doesn't have to be a creative genius. If you, excuse me, I want to make sure I get this right. Who said it? D. Steezel says Bob kind of let Kevin do his thing at Marvel. Mm-hmm. That could be the way Disney's going to operate from now on. You put somebody in charge who's in charge of the purse strings, but then you let your creative people, like a Kathleen Kennedy, still be in charge of Star Wars. Love her or hate her, yeah. She's in charge of what goes forward with Star Wars. Yeah. Kevin Feige is in charge of the MCU. I don't know who's in charge of Pixar. I know Kevin Lasseter stepped down, who was a very big voice at that company. John Lasseter. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm wondering if Disney is positioning itself where, not to be like all Marvel, but like Thanos is in charge. Mm-hmm. But then there's the Black Order. Mm-hmm. Is this his Black Order that everybody's in charge of their own little fiefdoms, or Seven Kingdoms, the Iron Throne, whatever,
The big claim to fame that Bob Chapek did before doing the park stuff is, mm-hmm. he was the guy who kind of came up with the idea of the Disney Vault.
Yeah.
Which is, for the people who may be a little bit younger, Disney would do this thing periodically every few years. They would lock up certain movies and release them at a certain time. They'd be like, mm-hmm. oh, now you can get the silver edition of Pinocchio, the silver edition of Little Mermaid. And they'd sell it for maybe 2 or 3 months at a time, then lock it back up in a vault. And then 10 years down the road, here's the platinum edition now, and it has a few more special features. A lot of people are kind of worried, what does that mean for Marvel and Star Wars and everything? I think the way Disney Plus is set up now, I don't think we're going to get a vault. Mm-mm. I feel like everything is going to Disney Plus because they realize how big streaming is, being able to binge all that stuff.
Not only that, I don't think you're ever going to get a vault again, because the whole way we consume media is over. The mm-hmm. way we consume media now, it's back in the day, Disney was known for less is more. We only release a handful of stuff, and we made millions off of that. Yeah. Disney now realizes, because that is why the Disney Plus shows got moved up. Falcon and Winter Soldier wasn't supposed to come out till next year. Right. WandaVision wasn't supposed to come out till next year. We're seeing, I don't know when The Mandalorian Season 2 was scheduled to come out, but Mandalorian helped bring in that 10 million subscriber list. Mm-hmm. And we know Season 2 comes out in October. They are positioned to build more new content for that streaming platform. They're not going to go backwards. I'm of the belief that I'm going to hold off on, slamming Disney just yet, because I haven't seen what this dude has done. Yeah. But I will say, and I can understand that Disney is a monopoly, and I don't like some of the things that Disney has done, but also can appreciate the creativeness and the sheer business savvy that they have done
Yeah.
in keeping this train going and being at the forefront. Because let's be honest, Disney was not at the forefront of streaming. They were licensing their properties out to a Netflix, to Hulu, and then now they've said, why would I give you when I can build my own? And that's what we have right now.
The Animal House brings up some good points, talking about the way the structure is set up now between the two Bobs is how it was between Walt and Roy, in terms of Walt was the creative person and Roy was kind of the purse strings. I think a pretty decent documentary on Disney Plus is The Imagineering Thing. Have you seen it? It's like 6 episodes.
I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about. Because
I think it does a good job of, it doesn't completely paint Disney in like a positive light, which is nice, but it kind of shows you some of the darker stuff of Disney a little bit. I think that's a good thing. And then there's an article on Polygon.com right now by Petrana Radalovic, I think is the person's name, kind of talking about the history of Bob Iger, Bob Chapek's history, kind of what they did. And it's a good article on Polygon.
Joe Greer, we're going to get to J.D. Dillard being brought over for Slight when we get to the Star Wars High Republic. But we know about it. We are going to get to it because that ties into our next thing in the next story. But Disney, I understand why people are mad with Disney. I get that. There are times that I look at it and I'm like, Disney is dangerous because it means all of these properties are under Disney control. So you may get a cookie cutter from now on where you don't get some high-minded drama or science fiction or cartoon movies or whatever because it has to be Disney-fied. Right now you're seeing some people are upset with the television version on Disney Plus, the live Love, Simon show that was supposed to go on Disney Plus that got moved to Hulu. And I don't know who's responsible for that. I can see both sides of it and I will withhold judgment until I see what comes out. So I do understand people loving Disney, and then people saying, "Wait a minute, Disney's in charge of a lot now." Because right now, what this I don't know if you know, this big battle with Disney is Disney Plus was going to get Love, Simon, the creator of the writer of the original book. There was a movie made. It was about coming out, LGBT love. Really good movie. A lot of people loved it. It was going to be on Disney Plus. It's now moving to Hulu. A lot of people are saying wondering, is it being moved because of the LGBT themes? And saying that may be too adult for Disney Plus. When you have things on Disney Plus that deals in some dark things or some very adult things, so this should not be moved. Now, granted, it could be to where there's a combination of different themes. So like if you look at Boy Meets World and you look at some of these other shows that are on Disney Plus, they deal with some adult themes, but there's no cross section. So there's no LGBT plus drinking plus sex on or any Disney Plus show, and that may be a little bit too much for them. I'm going to withhold judgment until I see what happens. But Disney, as in the past, has done things creatively, whether it be the MCU, whether it be Star Wars, where they have kicked people off because it did not fit their version of what they wanted.
What is the movie with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles?
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
That's on there as well.
That is on there. That movie, because I had never really seen it before in the past. I was watching on Disney Plus.
Because it's basically the modern version of Taming the Shrew, right?
Right. And I was kind of surprised at what that movie was doing because it was on Disney Plus. Like, oh, this is a competent movie, but they're talking about some interesting themes.
That is why people are like, why is not Love? Because I think it's called Love Victor now. That is why people are like, wait a minute, because you have these things on there. So I don't know. And that's why I said, I know we're talking about Disney and, this is cool. But Disney has its detractors. People are not happy with some of the things Disney is doing.
Yeah.
Yes, we have heard about Henry Cavill being in our next Wolverine. But
I didn't hear that.
It's just internet rumors. It's the same thing. Animal House, there is rumors. But again, this is the one thing we always say here. Michael's very good about making sure We source where we get the information from. Because basically what happens is one person sees something on Reddit or sees something and somebody says something and then the internet goes crazy. And then you don't know. Remember how, I'm trying to remember what movie it was where everybody was freaking out because of this cast list and none of it was confirmed. And I'm trying to remember what it was. And then it was like, see, and then you all flipped out about this, and it wasn't even true.
Right.
So we are very well versed in making sure we source credible information, and also we make mistakes. So if you see something that we got wrong, we have no problem correcting that. Because there are times we've done movie reviews or trailer, and we'll say something, and somebody like, well, excuse me, and I'm like, cool, thank you for educating us. Because I remember in Star Trek Picard, I called them Constitution class ships when they were Galaxy class ships. Thank you. I was wrong. So always pay attention. And I'm not going to call out any sources, but there are a couple of sites that are notorious clickbait. Every time they post something, I remember they were like, Tyrese was going to be Jon Stewart of the Green Lantern.
Tyrese is supposed to be every black superhero. And he was supposed to be Luke Cage at one point. Yeah.
So be careful.
Tyrese is going to be everybody.
Yeah, be careful about some of that stuff.
Yes. Edward Sanchez Productions. I am excited about The Proud Family. I really enjoyed that show when it came on, so I'm excited about this revival. That's supposed to have the original cast back.
Yep.
So
all the original voice actors.
Yeah.
So let's pivot from that to the thing that you were talking about, where this is where you do the story and I'll say what I'm going to say, because I
don't really know. I mean, the only thing I had was the High Republic is coming out.
So explain what that is.
I don't know what it is.
I thought you knew what it was.
No.
You're pitiful.
I mean, it's supposed to be like a cross-promotional, cross-media thing, a new lore of Star Wars stories set 200 years before Episode 1. That's supposed to go through comics, novels, possibly games, maybe is what people are talking about, but comics and novels for sure, told by a bunch of different genre authors. Yeah, that's what I got. And I also saw something. At this point, the Jedi's are kind of like Knights of the Round Table.
Yes,
I see that a lot.
It's called the High Republic. It's supposed to be the glory years of the Republic, filled with swashbuckling adventures. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds great. It was teased at D23 last year. It was called Project Luminous. The comics, it's going to run through whatever publishing arm DC has. Marvel, IDW, whoever publishes their books. It's also, they're talking about video games. That's where a lot of people are trying to figure out where J.D. Dillard's, because they know he's brought on board for something Star Wars related. They don't know if it's a movie or a television show. The High Republic, another prequel. You're right, Ken from Chicago. Here is my biggest problem with Star Wars, where I think they made the biggest blunder, which ruined Star Wars for now. All you're doing is recreating the expanded universe, which you got rid of when you bought Star Wars. So, and I've held off on Disney bashing and Star Wars bashing. I have enjoyed the new trilogy. There are some problems with it. I don't hate Last Jedi. I actually enjoy what they tried to do. I'd rather them swing and miss and fail versus keeping it safe, because that's what Rise of Skywalker was. It was a keep it safe movie. I think Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars movies to come out in the last 10, 15 years.
Shout out Gary Whitta.
You effed up when you got rid of the expanded universe, because you would have had a blueprint for your trilogy, and you could have picked and choose what you wanted to bring to the silver screen or the small screen. And now all you're doing with High Republic is trying to fix your F up.
Yeah.
And that's literally what you're doing. And I'm angry because, not because those stories were great. You saying they're not canon doesn't take anything away from me. You messed up, Disney, because you could have had that, and you could have had a blueprint, and that doesn't mean everything was canon. You could have picked and choose exactly what MCU has done for Marvel Comics.
Yeah. See, to me, I'm not upset so much about them killing the legacy stuff with the canon, because like you said, I still read it. I still read Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. I still read Tales of the Bounty Hunter. I read the Rogue Squadron books, the Han Solo trilogy books, all that stuff. Even if it's not canon anymore, it still happened to me. So them going back and doing this, it doesn't upset me as much.
It upsets me because basically what you're doing is recreating, and this is the thing that I hate. But I knew it was going to happen because I've seen it. If you're a sports fan, you have seen this for decades. So let's say you are a fan of a team. Mm-hmm. Your team gets sold to a new owner. That new owner comes in and says, I want to build this team in my image. I didn't hire this coach. This isn't my star player. These aren't my scouts. I want to remake this team in my image for what I see is going to be. Mm-hmm. Disney did that. Disney said, I can do Star Wars better than you can do it. And what they did was they said, the only things that were canon, the movies, Clone Wars, Rebels.
Yeah.
That's it. And I didn't like that. Only because you had, you in a way, you kind of piss fans off. And I still give Disney credit for a lot of what they've done with Star Wars. But it was one of those things where a lot of people were already skittish about Disney owning Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Then you do this. And it's like, it's one of those things where you did not have enough goodwill built up with Star Wars fans. And Star Wars fans, we already know, can be a loud bunch. Mm-hmm. After the prequels, you should have just gone slowly. And as a new owner, they were like, we're doing it our way. Yeah. And you alienated a sizable portion of your fan. Now, don't get me wrong. A sizable portion of the Star Wars fandom is trash. I mean, there are some hateful people out there.
Yeah.
But you still did not engineer goodwill because you got rid of some great stories people grew up with. And now you're trying to do it all over again. And it's because people wanted to see Mara Jade. Now, in some way, shape, or form. People wanted that because they grew up with that story. They wanted to see the twins. They wanted to see Ben Solo. They got him, but did they? Like, they wanted to see this, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And so for now, you say, hey, guys, we're going to do the High Republic 200 years before. I'm always of the belief that Star Wars is not just the Skywalkers. Mm-hmm. But for what they did and what they had, I can see why fans are upset. I don't think the anger is, but I definitely get the disappointment and how upset they are.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, kind of to steal your line, when we're dealing with breaking news and people don't know how to adapt, and they're like, be mad about it later, what you're doing now. Yeah. So, and I kind of have that mindset with Disney of, you know what, you've already upset fans now, or, you know, we can be upset about, let's worry about what we're getting. Yeah. At this point, let's see.
Be mad later.
Yeah, we've seen some of the new character art and some of the enemy. I think they call it the Nihil. Yeah. Or the Nihil or something. The overall enemy of the new big bad for 200 years ago. I'm excited just to see what they do from 200 years and to be, hopefully, they won't do the thing of.
It all connects.
Yeah, like these are long lost Skywalker people. We don't need them to be long lost Skywalker.
And that's why I said when you had the expanded universe, you could have done that. Mm-hmm. And that's why I understand the High Republic. I understand what they're trying to do. I'm just hoping, because this is the problem that I have with being only 200 years from the prequels. Guess who's still alive?
I mean, Yoda's alive.
and
Yoda's always alive, though.
But that's my point. Like, if honestly, this is what I wish Star Wars would do. If Disney had hired me, this is what I would say. Mm-hmm. And I'm not knocking, because there's a lot of great people who are working on it.
Friend of the show, Kathleen Kennedy, listen up.
Hey, Kathleen, right here.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do this for just 6 figures.
That's it, just 6?
Hey, man.
Not 7?
Not
6.
7. Mid 6 figures. 425, I'm gone. Uh-huh. Here's my idea. Stop going to the past. Mm-hmm. Give me 1,000 years in this galaxy. Show me what...
You want to Mass Effect it?
Pretty much. I mean, this is Star Wars. Again, like Star Trek, why are you... Star Trek shows quadrants, galaxies. Mm-hmm. Star Wars, why are you so focused on these couple of planets? Show me a whole new civilization. Mm-hmm. Show me a whole new political upheaval. Show me how it's high-minded, high swashbuckling fantasy. Go balls out, man. Go. And
do you think it's a thing? Sorry, I'll let you finish.
No. I just Star Wars, when it came out, you got little nuggets of these things, the Clone Wars. We didn't know what the Clone Wars were. It was just that thing that Obi-Wan Kenobi said.
Yeah.
I don't need you to take this little thing and then blow it up. Just give me the adventure. And that's the thing that I think they mess up
Do we
with.
think it's a thing that Lucasfilms is scared of? Star Trek has already had the precedent of being in these different quadrants.
Mm-hmm.
So we're used to them. Not everybody being connected, not necessarily. You know, you have your Kirk, you have your Picard, you have Janeway, you have these different captains.
Yeah.
Different
Whoa.
eras.
You didn't mention Cisco. Don't you ever disrespect.
Again, I've already said this. I don't know Star Trek, so I can't name everybody.
Sir, just
you got
saying.
Black Man. Okay, here we go. You know what? I'll name them all for you right now. You got Jean-Luc Picard. You got Captain Kirk. You got Janeway.
Captain Janeway. Don't be misogynist.
You're right. Captain Janeway. You got Black Man.
In Black History Month, no less.
Yes, you got Black Man, and you got Quantum Leap. That's what you got. Okay?
The disrespect in Black History Month.
Sorry,
it's overwhelming.
That's what it is,
sir.
But yeah, they're in different areas, so we're used to not everything being connected.
Yeah.
But we've been trained so much to have the Skywalker saga that now maybe they're afraid to jump and go other places.
And that's why I said I feel like they don't know what to do with Star Wars, and I don't think you have to. It doesn't have to be centered around the Skywalker family.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I always hated about Star Wars is that there were thousands of Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need all of them to be centered around Coruscant. I don't need them all to be like. Show me the one thing I loved about Rogue One is that Rogue One was its own movie. Don't get me wrong; it tied into Star Wars, but it was Ben Mendelsohn's character was so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed everything about that movie. And perfect example, Ken from Chicago. Star Trek isn't just Starfleet, Klingons. It's so much story to tell. That's what Star Wars is. There's so much story to tell.
You had in the expanded stuff.
And that's what people are so upset about, that you had so much that you could have built on.
Yeah. And
you could have picked and choose, like the MCU. A lot of people who see the MCU, they enjoy it. But the people who've been reading comic books and who love the comics, Civil War didn't happen that way.
Yeah, because
like
I didn't read it, but I do know it was more than just like 12 heroes.
It's like
this is a small war.
Like the Infinity War.
Right.
You literally combine 3 different crossovers and stories. You combine the Infinity War. Mm-hmm. Or the Infinity Gauntlet, you combine Hickman's Infinity series, because you brought in people like the Black Order. You had, you could have done that with Star Wars. And that's the problem that I've had with Star Wars so much, is that the storytelling is just, for something as amazing as Star Wars is, why are you so scared? Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm like, it's space wizards with freaking laser swords,
yeah.
and talking turtles and giant bears that are aggressive.
Yeah.
Why are you so limited in scope with what you want to do? That's why I don't get me wrong, and I know it sounds like I'm bashing. I'm in on High Republic. I do want to read it. I do want to see where it's going to go. I'm going to buy some of the comic books. I'm going to play the video game and watch the movie.
Because the article that I read or whatever that we did for the story, I think it said it starts later this year, right?
Yeah.
We start seeing the first parts, like phase 1 of theirs.
And supposedly what had happened was they had all these people. Brian Barrett, you're correct. Narrow-minded storytelling. Mm-hmm. It's kind of what gets me upset when we're here. We have a boss who says, try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But very rarely has that woman told us no. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we work with people who are scared of that. And that's what it seems like the people who are in charge of Star Wars. Solo is a just fine movie. It's just average. Excuse me.
How the pizza working?
The pizza's good. That's how Solo affects me.
Okay.
Because you think about who you had in this movie. Think about who you had.
Yeah.
You had Khaleesi.
Mm-hmm.
You had.
I'll say something. I don't know if Khaleesi is a movie star.
But this is the thing.
I don't know if she is. I've seen her in 3 movies now. I don't know if she's a movie star.
But this is what I'm saying. You had Khaleesi.
Uh-huh.
Had Donald Glover.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe Waller.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that's the best y'all got out of this?
Tandy Newton.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is Woody Harrelson. This is the best y'all got out of this?
Yeah.
Come on. We know Woody Harrelson can carry a movie because we love Zombieland.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. We know Tandy Newton is great. Westworld. We know Donald Glover's amazing. Atlanta. So how is it that that's what you got out of this? You had 3 great A-list actors in a movie, and you gave us Solo?
Yeah.
It's just like...
Well, the thing about it is...
Are you serious?
We still never got whatever the Lord and Miller were going to do for Solo. Like, I still want to see that movie because I guess Kathleen Kennedy and I can't think of the other guy who helped like create Han Solo and all that, whatever his name is.
That shows you how much Solo is in the zeitgeist that you don't even know who the actor was.
No. I'm not talking about Harrison Ford. I'm talking about not the actor. I'm talking about the
young kid.
No, yeah, but not him. I mean, like the person, like the writer who came up.
I'm sorry.
I can't think of his name. Mm-hmm. But they had the beef with Lord and Miller and wanted them gone. Mm-hmm. And I wish we knew what the original movie was going to be. Because I would have been down for a madcap zany Solo movie done by them.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, Star Wars should be, the universe should be big enough that you could have a villain movie. Mm-hmm. You could have us following this villain. And that's why some people wanted a Darth Vader movie. I would love to see, and stop doing trilogies. Stop saying it's a trilogy. Mm-hmm. Do one good movie. Give me one good movie and go from there.
Yeah.
And then if it works.
Well, here's the thing. We've already mentioned it before. Everybody wants to be Marvel.
But this is
the way, because you know how Hollywood, we're not in Hollywood, but we know how Hollywood works. Hollywood is a copycat business.
True, but this is the thing. Marvel wasn't Marvel in the beginning.
True.
It just happened to work. Yeah. When they made Iron Man, they just threw in these Easter eggs.
Like I think it's on the DVD where I can't think of people's names now.
Jon Favreau.
Yes, Jon Favreau talked about, we made the movie and then we said it would be cool. Let's do a post-credit scene, not knowing if it would really work. That wasn't. I don't think that was part of the original script.
They did not have this connecting 23 movie arc when they made Iron Man. You know what they did? Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. made a good movie.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, again, Hollywood, 425K. I just want enough where I can buy stuff without having my wife call me, why did you pay for this? And she can stay home and leave me the hell alone. She ain't got to work. That's all I want.
I feel like you should have said it that way. And it's not the other way of what you said. You could have just said she ain't got to work. But go ahead. Yep.
You make up a good point.
Yeah.
When you look at what came out that year and you look at what they did with Iron Man, because remember, Iron Man came out same time The Dark Knight did.
2008.
Jon Favreau, great director. Robert Downey Jr., great actor, couldn't even be in big movies.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, that was not their first choice. He was cheap. And Iron Man isn't even... Iron Man is a B character. Thank you, Joe Greer. He is a B character.
Yeah.
They didn't own their marquee franchise, which was Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and the X-Men. Mm-hmm. The Avengers have never been the thing. The problem with everybody else is they want to be Marvel. When Marvel, it wasn't even Marvel when they started. Make one good movie.
Yeah.
Make that. And then guess what? Make another good movie. Then make another one. Then tie it together. Keep in mind, when did they make the Avengers? After they made how many other movies?
4 or 5?
Yep.
Maybe it was 6? I don't remember.
Because remember, they made Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Iron Man 2.
Captain America.
So yeah, like 5 movies before. Yeah.
So stop trying to, stop aiming for the fences. Get on base. Mm-hmm. Just get on base. And that's what Star Wars' problem is. They don't want to just get on base. They want to make these grand spectacles, and I'm not knocking them for that. Mm-hmm. But if you make something good, we as fans will support it, a la The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally have you've created one of the best new characters in the last 5 years in Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's my problem with the High Republic. And again, I'm trying not to bash Star Wars. There's a lot of that bashing going on. But I just feel like the High Republic is just another backdoor of getting the expanded universe done. And I'm like, you had that and you toyed with it instead of just building upon that.
Yeah. I am, me being more video game focused and comic book focused, I am excited to see what type of video games, if any, we get out of it. Because, chat, let me know. I feel like Electronic Arts' contract with Star Wars is expiring pretty soon. And they haven't made that many games. Like when
one good one.
Yeah, when the deal first came out, people were like, "Oh, we're gonna get all these games," and it's probably been 6 or 7 years, maybe more, and maybe we got 3 or 4 games you can really mention. Like, you know, you got like your Battlefront, which is good now. People didn't like when it came out. People are pretty happy with Jedi Fallen Order.
Love Fallen Order.
So what you got? 2 or 3 games that you can name made by EA or whatever. So I hope that we will get some type of games from High Republic, because they're probably working on a Fallen Order 2, just because that's how sequels work.
Yep.
But
It
that
made
won't-
money, so we're going to make another one.
But that won't be in the High Republic era, because that's after Order 66 and all that stuff. So
Yep.
I'm hoping we'll get some stuff.
Yeah, like
back
create
then.
new things, create new people, create new...
Yeah.
That's the thing that I get really irritated about. Stop trying to hold on to the core and do something new. Star Wars, when it came out, was brand new. No one had ever done it.
Yeah.
So Star Wars should be at the forefront of doing something different that no one has ever done. So that's what I'm hoping High Republic. We talked about J.D. Dillard, who did Slight.
What was Slight again?
Slight was about the street kid who actually
I did see that. Yeah, and he had
powers.
a brother.
He was taking care of his brother,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
drug
I did
dealers
see it.
wanted him to use his power to deal
Was
drugs.
Drew Hill? Not Drew Hill. Dule Hill? Was he the bad guy in that?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Look at that.
But so he's working on a Star Wars project with one of the writers from Luke Cage. So the question is, are they doing a movie? Are they doing a television show? We don't know yet. And we know, again, part of the problem is what Disney does is they don't like what you're doing, they will gone. They don't care. So I'm hoping to see
Dule Hill, yeah. It was Dule Hill.
I'm hoping to see what they're going to do, and just let them do it. Let them. This is the thing. Let them do it. Let it come out, because it can't be you. Star Wars movies make money. The only movie that you didn't make money on was, guess what? Solo, and that's the one you meddled in.
Yeah.
Like that's the like. It made money. It wasn't a blockbuster compared to what Star Wars numbers are, but it still made money.
Right.
So don't meddle in it. Let it come out. If you don't like it, put it on Disney Plus.
Very true.
So it upsets me so, because it reminds me sometimes of being at work, and I go to Star Wars not to be at work.
So Animal House says that was a 10-year deal, referring back to the EA thing.
2013.
In 2013. So 2023, so they got 3 more years?
They got one more game.
I mean, essentially, if games take 3 years to make.
They got one game.
And
that's coming out on the PS5.
Yeah, so,
yep.
Yeah, who knows?
And they better knock it out of the park, because because Disney is like, hey man, well,
One thing I am happy with Disney, one thing I do like about Disney from the video game perspective now is, instead of just licensing everything out to everybody, they work with the publisher and be like, you can make this game. That's why Insomniac made Spider-Man, and it was great.
Yeah.
I think story-wise and gameplay-wise, I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're working on a Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we're going to get a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I don't know. I think Marvel and Capcom are playing nice again, and Marvel has X-Men, so we'll hopefully get another one of those.
Yeah.
We got Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch, which was a great co-op game. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get something like that.
Yeah. I'm really I say this after this whole rant that I just went on, bashing Star Wars and Disney. I am excited about the High Republic, because I'm excited to read stories that are new.
Yeah.
One of the things I did like about the Star Wars comics that Marvel did was they introduced some new things. They introduced some new characters. There was the Vader. The way they wrote Vader was amazing to me, because it goes back to the whole idea behind the Clone Wars, where Vader was not just a one-dimensional character. He was a good guy at times to some people, and then he like when he showed up, it was always like, what's going on?
Right.
And people. So there's one comic where they had Vader showed up on this planet. It was basically kind of like a Seven Samurai situation where Vader basically saves this village from these monsters or creatures, or whatever, and they love Darth Vader. Like they tell stories about him. Meanwhile, this dude wiped out younglings in the whole Jedi Order. So it was so interesting to see in the comics how they wrote him. And it's like, that's great. Do it again with somebody else without a dark helmet on. So that's...
So have you looked up who some of these writers are that are working on stuff?
Yes, some of the writers...
Because I was just curious if you knew some of their stuff.
I know some of the... so one of the guys that was on... And I'm hoping... This is another thing I'm hoping. Let them write. Because the guy who did Aftermath and some of the... I'm trying to remember... Chuck Wendig. He was slated to write a Marvel comic. He is a very outspoken critic of the president. And some people didn't appreciate that. And he got removed from a book because of that. And now Chuck Wendig is a great writer. He's the one who filled in the blanks of where Wedge Antilles was. Who filled in the blanks of the Battle of Jakku. Great Star Wars writer, one of the best. People put him up there with Timothy Zahn. Let them just write. Now, granted, as a company, you probably may have to put out an edict, shut the hell up on Twitter. But just let these guys write.
The names that I saw, and I can't remember who they are, but I remember seeing the announcement video that came out this week about it. And I was happy because I saw people of color.
Yep.
I also saw female representation, which was great. So I was just like, it was happy that it was not just the typical, what you would consider a nerd to be writing this stuff, which I think is pretty cool.
Charles Soule, to me, is the best thing that happened because I've read all of his stuff, and he's one of the major Star Wars writers that has been on there. To me, Charles Soule, he's written some other stuff too. I'm not just painting him in the corner with just Star Wars, but he has the way he writes. Now, there's a couple other people too. I love Charles Soule, and he's been writing comics for a while in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
I enjoyed him. I am excited about it. I can still be pissed off and still be excited about it.
Yeah.
Because it's something that hasn't been done before to where you can pick and choose what you read in the medium that you like. So, and I think this is better than having a situation where I like Rise of Skywalker. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's good. It ain't Suicide Squad. But the problem that I have with Rise of Skywalker is, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. So one of the writers was like, explain the problem that you had with Rise of Skywalker. How did Emperor get all these people? Like nobody knew about this army? Like, so the writer explains that these are people who are loyal to the Emperor, and this is a whole Sith civilization that they think that he's going to usher them to the promised land.
Okay.
Where was that in the movie?
And
so I hope that they have learned, tell a great story in this medium, and don't let it have to be where you have to read this to fill in this. Just tell the story in this medium, and whether it be comic book or book, and then let it be a complete story. They all tie together, but just let these writers tell the story. And that's what I'm hoping we're going to get. Because I like being able to drop in and read a Star Wars miniseries or series, and then I'm good. I'm done. Or a book. And it ties into the rest of the universe, but it's a complete story.
All right, next topic.
Yeah.
All right, next topic. EA, not just EA Sports, but EA overall.
The nuclear option. EA bans abusive FIFA player from all its games. That's what happened?
Yeah. So I don't follow esports extremely closely. I know of it. This guy Kurt Finnick, I believe he lives in Malta, maybe?
He's a Maltese player.
Yeah, Maltese player. Kurt Finnick.
He's 25 years old.
Apparently has been abusive in the past while he's playing FIFA. He's been critical of the game FIFA, but
that's putting it nicely.
EA says he's been more than just critical. He's been like very toxic to community, other people in the community, and to EA employees. So he's been banned before in the past for different lengths of time and suspended. But now they finally did the whole thing of you're no longer just banned or suspended. You can no longer play any EA game or anything that EA owns or operates. Now, granted, they can't really enforce this in terms of if he plays something offline, he can always do that. But
He can play anything offline.
But if he was like online, no, they would. He could. He's not allowed to play.
So this is as you dickishly corrected me when I said this is the first perma ban, you were like, no. So I was like, you're right. This is the first time the nuclear option has been used to everything they own online. So yeah, he can go in and buy Dead Space. He better not play it online,
Right?
Because
like he can't play Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah,
Basically, like you can't connect to server and play Plants vs Zombies. That's
And
wild.
this is the one thing that I love and hate this all at the same time. I believe companies need to do a better job of cleaning up their communities in gaming. I believe it isn't just up to us. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that fans do play a part in this, that we have to police each other. We have to do a better job of not allowing certain people who are abusive, who are toxic, who are misogynist or racist, whatever it is you want to call it. We got to make sure we don't elevate those people. But these companies have to do a better job of policing who they are letting be elevated within their game. The Phoenix, by all accounts, was a great player. The problem is that he felt that there were problems with the game FIFA itself.
Now, to his credit, I guess, he is not the only person who is not happy with how the most recent FIFA game plays.
Yes.
It is on Reddit. People are talking about FIFA is not. It doesn't.
It's
play,
not the same.
It doesn't play like they wanted to, and they're not happy with transaction and other stuff. But he went more extreme in terms of how he voiced his disagreement.
This is the thing that I think if the sport is going to grow, and each sport has its own toxic players, or stupid players, or players who do not use their head or wits or just do dumb stuff. I'm going to bring up a name, and you tell me what team he plays for. Antonio Brown.
Domino's?
They ain't got a team.
Is he delivering pizzas? What is he doing? He's sitting at home?
He making rap videos.
No, is he? Okay.
Kind of like what this guy did.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have players within your sport who are terrible, who are great. When Antonio Brown cleans up his act, he may be able to play again. I don't know if they're going. Oh yeah, they're going. Oh yeah.
Well, no. My thing is he going to clean up his act? I don't know if he is.
And that's the question.
Yeah.
So for Finnick, the reason why I bring this up, and the reason
Did the Patriots sign him?
The Patriots signed him. They played. They played for a little
Patriots
while.
will sign everybody,
Well,
and they'll try to work you in the system. They let him go.
They'll let anybody play.
Yeah.
They had a double murderer
Yeah.
on their roster.
So I mean,
Granted, they might not have known. But one of the things that I think is interesting about this is he had some great points. It's all in how you conduct yourself. And Ken from Chicago is correct. Esports has been infamous for decades of allowing toxicity, and I don't know what that is. Turning a blind eye if not enabling it. You're right. This is great from a standpoint of EA is attempting to clean up, and because he was such a big player. But what really stepped it up was, I don't know if you guys have seen, he made a video.
Just where he spits on the towel or whatever?
Yeah, so this is what I think, and what I don't think what everybody, this is the thing where I think people, a lot of these YouTube stars, esports, this is where I think that they need to start paying attention to how physical athletes in the NBA, the NFL, and the Major League Baseballs, how they conduct themselves, even though they don't like something.
Yeah.
This is a VOD that Kirk got banned for. I'm all for freedom of speech. This is from Dr. Jarba from Twitter.
Where's the whole article coming from, this thing?
I'm just reading the tweet.
Okay, gotcha.
Because he found the video that Finnick was playing. I'm all for freedom of speech, but this is disgusting behavior. How are you going to spit on the logo of a company that you want to be a professional esport athlete for? I know I'm going to get stick for this, but he deserves the ban. So Finnick didn't just complain. He spit on the logo. He was calling out employees. And this is the thing. You cannot be toxic and talk trash about the maker of the game that you want to be the star of.
And then think you're gonna get paid.
And then I don't and I'm he claims that part of the reason why is because EA and FIFA didn't want him beating their star that they had.
Their golden boy, yeah.
Then say that. But there's a way to handle it, man, because let me tell you right now, Tom Brady talks trash about the NFL. Tom Brady's out of the league. And Tom Brady is arguably the greatest quarterback of all time.
Ooh, you all right?
Joe Montana's the best, in my opinion.
You okay? But saying that?
6 of 9, man.
Yeah.
6 of 9. And when Tom Brady dealt with Deflategate, guess what he did? Handled it with class and dignity. He didn't trash Goodell. He didn't trash the NFL. He did not spit on the logo.
Yeah.
This is a man who was suspended for 4 games for being accused of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And guess how he handled it? He did not act like this. And the reason why I bring this up is that if esports athletes want to be taken seriously, they want to be on the same level of an NFL star, of an NBA star. Hell, if you want to be considered as great as an NHL star, the community has to clean up its act, and the players are going to have to be better.
See, I wonder if it's also a thing too of, we mentioned these people on YouTube.
Ken from Chicago, I agree with you. That's why Joe Montana's a great. I'm just saying, there are people who say,
okay, YouTube as, hey, we are right now, we're our own little fledgling YouTube channel and whatnot. But sometimes I wonder if these younger people, YouTubers, maybe are a little bit extreme to kind of play up to their crowd to get a larger audience, which it might be nice in the short term, but in the long term, you're going to end up not making those dollars that you're trying to find.
I'm laughing because IMAX said, Dan Marino, I said what I said. And to piggyback off your point, this is the era that we live in. YouTubers and esports athletes don't just play the game, they have to have an online persona.
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect,
Mm-hmm.
an entire online persona. You have to stream, you have to constantly get these likes and these clicks. What I will say to this young man, because he's 25, I'm in my 40s.
Did you say your age and you called me? I wasn't paying attention for a second.
Saw that, right?
I'm just like, wait, what just happened?
If I could say to the younger audience, when you are dealing, and I say this as a man who struggles with this myself, clicks does not pay any bills. Likes don't pay any bills. Like, I can like something online because you said something, but don't mistake that for people willing to pay you and support you when you lose your gig.
Yeah.
And I bring up Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is notorious on social media, on Instagram, posting these videos, getting likes, people commenting, you're taking it to the man. Antonio Brown ain't in the league no more. The housing community he lives in wants him out. That he lives in a gated community where they do not want cops there every day. He is now being charged with felony assault, larceny. He is no longer in the league. He does not make millions of dollars like he is. He's having to fight for bonuses and signing checks that he supposedly believes he's owed.
Yeah.
Those people who like the antics on social media are not now helping chipping in.
Right.
They're not going to pay a GoFundMe account because they're like, you did that on your own.
And I'll say this, chat, if you guys know of any popular YouTubers who you could get us in contact with, I would actually love to talk to a mega popular YouTuber and just interview them about the process. Because, hey, we ain't popular. We appreciate y'all that love us, but we're not on these guys' levels. And I would just love to know like what they go through, just to interview them.
We saw and the reason why I bring this up, and I know you guys, I saw the when we had the community page, and I gave the list of people like, who the hell is he and why do we care? We do care to a certain extent because we want our nerddom to grow. We want to be taken as seriously when the guys who play Madden, who play these different things. Esports is here, it's growing, But also, we have to learn to conduct ourselves with some type of class and dignity. But here's the other side of it. For these people out there, understand this is the Wild Wild West, and you will be remembered for these things that you post out there. We did the story about the kid who was part of FaZe Clan, who was 18, who was a teenager, and he had a aim assist on while he was playing a game.
Was it Fortnite or something? I don't know.
It might have been Fortnite.
Something.
And they banned him.
Yeah.
And he was crying. He was like, part of the problem was he was trying to create content so that he always was in the algorithm.
Right.
I understand having to do that, but there's a way to conduct yourself and still be professional. If this is where you make your money and this is where you believe that your career is going to go, Ken from Chicago says perfectly, reap what you sow. Actions have consequences.
Yeah.
And just like in all major sports, next man up. Finnick, you were great when you played the game. There's somebody else willing to take your spot.
Now, to play devil's advocate, not defending what Finnick did, because I haven't seen everything that he did. I've read it, and if what he did is true, it sucks. But one thing that Finnick has said is that he kind of would like to EA put out the post saying that he had been talking to gamers before, and apparently after he was banned, accounts for EA employees have been hacked.
So earlier last year. So basically, when he was banned before he was suspended, he had called people rats. He had said some things, and then EA employees' accounts were hacked, and then rumor is that it is either him or people affiliated with him did this in response to what EA did.
Right.
Here's the response, because basically what happened, here's the EA statement. Now, however you feel about EA as a company, there's a difference when you start going after the people who work there.
Yeah.
So, the EA Sports FIFA Global Series official rules and code of conduct help us cultivate positive play, and we are diligent in ensuring that our competitors hold themselves to a high behavior standards. When we learn a competitor is potentially in code of conduct violation, we take our responsibility seriously to investigate and take action when appropriate. In many instances, we believe in second chances, striving to be fair and to give competitors warnings and suspensions before advancing to more drastic action. This is where it got out of control. In this case, we're sharing that Kurt 0411 is disqualified for repeated EA Sports FIFA Global Series Code of Conduct policy violations. Kurt can no longer compete in or attend any eSports FIFA 20 Global Series events or future scheduled competition. Kurt received a 2-month, 5-qualifier suspension on October 18, 2018 for inappropriate video posted online. Next, on March 25th, 2019, Kurt received a final warning for new code of conduct violations. We shared at that time that if the policy violations continued, our actions would escalate. After the vocal videos posted on October the 10th, 2019 and October 19th, 2019, we disqualified Kurt 0411. Kurt had many chances, and we were explicit that each subsequent violation would result in escalated penalties. The above violations go beyond acceptable smack talk, as the consistent harassment targeting fellow competitors, EA employees, and a previous on-air talent during the live broadcast are unacceptable. That's where we go. So you were talking about the videos so this is after repeated, hey, tone it down.
Yeah.
Hey, you got suspended. He's complaining now, where did I threaten employees? Dude, you did a video calling them rats and their accounts were hacked. Now, granted, you might not have done that yourself.
Yeah.
People who supported you did, and you led a movement attacking EA. You can attack EA and say, I don't like some of the things you're doing, I don't like the game, but you went above and beyond.
Yeah.
And now you're banned permanently. That's on you. But also, I think we as fans, and I think that part of it is a responsibility to not bolster up some of these people who do these things, not clicking on their videos when we know they do trashy things or call out. Because this is during a live performance, he acted a fool.
Yeah.
And he was upset. I get people being upset with EA. I'm one of their biggest critics because I hate the way they have done Madden. I hate the way they operate some of their businesses, and don't get me started on loot boxes. But
Mass
I'm mad
Effect.
at... Sorry, I needed a moment.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, but there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And this young man went above and beyond, and now he's, like Ken from Chicago says, you reap what you sow. So...
yeah, I mean, long story short, just, yeah, actions have consequences, like Ken from Chicago said. Somebody brought up I think it was D. Steezel, either D. Steezel or Brian Barrett, one of you had talked about being a gamer from the 80s, saying, they've been gaming forever.
Yeah, D. Steezel.
And they don't want to necessarily be in a gamer community. I get that. And I don't know necessarily that you have to, be included as part of a gamer community. I think what we're more saying is just, for people who do want to be in that gamer community, you have to conduct yourself in a certain way. Not saying that you can't have personality, but if you're going to be an a-hole to somebody, don't be mad when the company that was paying you doesn't pay you anymore or take stuff back, because you put that out there.
Yeah, and in order for these guys, in order for you to get to so somebody brought up Ninja, in order for you to get to that status, you're going to have to conduct yourself, because this is the thing. Esports is only going to grow. The video gaming itself is only going to grow because we have not just Xbox with Microsoft. You not only have Sony with PlayStation. You have CSGO. You have all these different games. You have all these different companies wanting to get into gaming. We see Jeff Keighley with the Video Game Awards. Ninja was on. We're seeing video game esports personalities. We're seeing the highlights.
The movie's not out yet. It's called Free Guy, the one with Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
The video game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Ninja's in that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Ninja's everywhere. He did the streaming Fortnite video with Drake. He's in commercials all the time. He was in one of like a Samsung smartphone commercial.
He was.
Like that.
And keep in mind, Ninja was the first esport athlete featured on the cover of ESPN magazine. Featured on the cover of, I don't want to say any magazine, but he was one of the first esport athletes featured prominently on a sports cover.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. If you want to be that type of person or get there, you guys are going to have to grow the F up.
Yeah.
That's just plain and simple. And you cannot conduct yourself in this manner and think you're going to get ahead. That may work in whatever little community if you've got a couple of 100,000 people following you. But that's not going to work long term. You got to clean that up.
That's it for us, I think. I gotta
Ty
go.
Williams, you can't come for the king when you're at the king's table in the king's house. I can't disagree with you.
I gotta go relieve AG.
All right, guys. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. To answer your question, somebody asked about Picard. A live Star Trek Picard review. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to do them live.
It's feasible. We just gotta figure out a time.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't. I mean, I guess we could do it at 8 or 9.
It would have to be at 8 during the week. It's just hard because sometimes there's like news, and like right now for us, we're in South Carolina, so whoo. Sorry, guys. It's hard for us right now because the primary season is on. We have to work tomorrow because of the primaries. So maybe when March and April, some of this news eases up, we can do some more videos. Guys, I want to thank you for coming and chatting. I want to say what's up to IMAX, Ty Williams, Rayshawn K, Damon Estrada, Animal House, D. Steezel, Ken from Chicago, Brian Barrett, trying to get up, Edward Sanchez Productions, Boundless Book Owl. Hey, my wife wasn't bullying me in this one. Antoine Allen.
That's so sad.
Joe Griff III. She always got something to say. I think one of her friends over at the house. Ken from Chicago. I missed this. What happened to Star Wars 1313? It died. They took that out back and shot it like Old Yeller.
That was so cool too.
It did. It really did.
Cool.
Let's see if there's anybody else I missed.
Somebody's asking about a Candyman trailer reaction.
I'm working
Brian
on it.
Barrett, yeah.
Me and Lauren are working on it. Lauren's at dinner right now, so I'm gonna try to get that. Me and her are gonna try to do it tonight and get it up tonight. It's just Michael doesn't do scary movies, and really, I'm interested because it's Jordan Peele and he doesn't do a lot of gore, and it's always cerebral. So it's produced by him, so I'm interested. So I want to see. Plus, it's Yahya Abdul Mateen. Is it Mateen or Martin? Christopher Peguera. I don't want to mess that last name up, but I think that's how you say it. Let's see what else. I don't think I got everybody, but I don't want to miss anybody.
Where can they find us?
You guys, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, WLTX.com, Facebook. I will admit, Michael's been doing a great job on Instagram. I've slacked off a little bit on posting some of the pictures and comic book stuff that I've been doing, and some of the stuff I bought, I didn't put it on Instagram because I want my wife to see it. And one quick thing before we go. CB Hunts, Joel Mayberry. So we have a baby registry, and I started putting little stuff on the baby registry for people to buy for me. And my brother snitched on me. So there's a Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse poster I wanted to get, and I was like, hey, it's for the baby's room. So I put it on the registry, and my brother snitched. So, yeah, that's why I've been a little slack on Instagram. I've been dirty. All right, so guys, really appreciate you guys for watching, listening, commenting. We'll see you next week. We're out.